What is going on, y'all? It's Mike Titan here with Bryan Greer with Unrivaled Multimedia, and today on the episode of the Blitz, we bring y'all the recap of probably one of the most disappointing losses in this early season of the Dallas Cowboys as they lose 39-28 to what I like to now call them the comeback kids, Atlanta Falcons, getting outscored 22-0 in the second half. Bryan Greer, what did you think about this game?
This game was a tale of two halves, in my opinion. The Cowboys in the first half were able to come out, run the ball, establish the running game, just really maul them in the first quarter. And then after that, I don't know. It was just ridiculous. Turnover in the second quarter on a bad throw, just a bad pass, and a really just go in the shell game plan in the second half. They played not to lose, in my opinion. The defense didn't come out and play at all. Besides Sean Lee, in my opinion, they just did not look good at all. Mo Claiborne, I have a APB out on him, and Brandon Carr. I don't know where they were at in this game. Julio Jones and Devontae Freeman just had a field day and could do whatever they wanted to. I actually thought in the second half it was arena football. Thought they just changed leagues.
Yeah, very much true. I do agree with that. The first half, I was watching the game and I was like, man, they're running the ball at will. Joseph Randle getting all these yards. Darren McFadden's looking good. I mean, Joseph Randle had three rushing touchdowns in the first half. Matter of fact, that was all their touchdowns were rushing touchdowns. So I was amazed. I was like, okay, we've run the ball. We're getting stops on defense. That's cool. And then the second half, what I think happened is that Atlanta adjusted. They were like, okay, they're going to run the ball. They're going to throw all this short stuff. Fine. We're going to pack the box, blitz Whedon. We're going to force Whedon to beat us, which he couldn't because it's Brandon Whedon. I mean, he had 10 checkdowns to Lance Dunbar for 100 yards.
Yes.
His top two receivers were Lance Dunbar and Jason Witten. Lance Dunbar had 10 catches. Jason Witten had 6. On the other side, this dude named Julio Jones, very popular wide receiver, had about 12 catches for 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. And this other guy by the name of Antonio Freeman had 30 rushes for 141 yards. So, yeah, second half, the Falcons pretty much did what the Cowboys did to them in the first half. Freeman was just, I don't know. I
didn't know if that was Adrian Peterson back there.
Exactly. I thought we were seeing remnants of the Super Bowl run for the Seahawks when they had Sean Alexander back there. He was just running the ball, getting 3-4 yards a pop. But, I will say this.
30 carries.
Exactly, on 30 carries. So, second half, they just ran the ball. They were patient. They didn't try to get it all back in one play. But I will say this, though. I kind of had a idea that this would happen, just because the previous 2 weeks, Atlanta Falcons pretty much did the same thing. They were down against the Giants and came back. They were up against the Eagles, then they got down, but then they came back again. So apparently the Falcons have figured out some sort of voodoo to beat the NFC East whenever you're down in the second half. So whatever they have done is probably great coaching by them. But I do agree that I'm not going to say that this is a game the Cowboys should have won, but I do not think they should have gave up. What was it? 3 different times they were up by 14 in this game, and they gave up the lead every time.
Yeah. I mean, at home, I don't care who you're playing. If you have the lead 3 different times by 14 points, you should win. I mean, it's really an embarrassing loss. Yeah. It really is. I mean, no doubt about it. And something I want to talk about, and I want your opinion on, I don't like the mentality of this team. They don't seem to be like the Patriots. They go out and just break your wheel. You didn't see them let the Jaguars in back in the game yesterday. And I don't know, do you think the mentality of this team and Jason Garrett, they really just go out there and just expect to win and dominate?
I don't necessarily think they expect to win and dominate. I think what happened was, like you said, they had a first half lead. They got a little complacent. I don't think they tried to take enough shots down the field. I mean, There was a graphic I saw where Brandon Whedon hadn't attempted any passes over 20 yards the whole game. The one pass he did attempt,
second play of the game,
it was a flag. It was pass interference on the defense.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, it's like the first is honestly like they did a Heckle and Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hyde in the first and second half. It's like you played great the first half, no turnovers by Brandon Whedon, running the ball, defense is playing amazing. And then the second half is like you just don't know what you do. It's like, okay, we got a lead. Now what do we do? Do we keep doing what we're doing?
Yeah.
But, like I said, Atlanta made those adjustments. It was head scratching to a point because it was like, all right, y'all got this lead, but I don't know. It's like they didn't know what to do with it. They were just like so shocked. It's like, all right, we got this 11-point lead. Now, what the heck do we do? And I don't know. Like I said, I don't think they should have. I'm not saying that they should have won the game, but I don't think they should have lost in the fashion they did. Like if they should have lost, it probably should have been 32-28, like it was before they gave up that last touchdown. But it was just difficult to see because it's like they showed so much promise. Like they showed us like for 1.5 quarters, they were like, this is the team, even though they have no Romo, no Dez, still missing Greg Hardy and McLean, who they get back in after week 4, after the bye week, after week 5. So it's just like this team has potential, but I don't know if they're at this point. I don't even know if they'll even be able to win a game, especially with the upcoming schedule without these star players that they're missing.
I totally agree with you. It's like they have potential, but potential's only as good as you act on it. There's a lot of people have potential to do this and everything, and I'm just worried about this team because this is a game. You're up 3 times, 14 points. Let's look at the facts. I don't want to hear about Romo. I don't want to hear about Dez, and I'm tired of people talking about Dez and Romo. They're gone people. I don't know if you feel the same way. I'm tired of it. It's just like everybody's talking about Dez is walking again, and Romo's going to be back in 7 weeks. Stop it. This team needs to go out and play with what they have. Where is that? Why is Darren McFadden getting the ball 6 times? I'm absolutely outraged about that. I'm now on the Darren McFadden bandwagon. Every time he gets the ball, he's punishing. Punishing. And it seems like the Cowboys are trying to be smart and say, no, Joseph Randle. They're always trying to be contrarians, I feel like, and like trying to do the opposite of what makes sense, which is Darren McFadden. I know Joseph Randle's getting yards, but he should be getting at least 15 touches a game, period. That kind of bruising back, only getting 6 times, nobody's talked about that. And I don't know how you feel, but I'm pissed about that, honestly, that he's only getting the ball 6 times.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, before the season started, I thought I would have Darren McFadden starting. Only possible reason I could think they only gave him 6 touches is because of his injury history. But if you watched his runs this game, like literally there was one on the goal line, ran like an outside zone, which he cut up right in between the guard and the center and almost went for a touchdown if he wouldn't have got tripped up by a defender. But yeah, Darren McFadden, I do believe should be starting. He should be getting the bulk of the rushes just for the simple fact is that he's more experienced than Randall. You see he has better vision than Randall. The holes that he's a patient runner. When he gets the ball, he waits for holes to open up. I don't think I saw him get hit anytime that game before he was past the line of scrimmage on those 6 carries. So in my opinion, I do think Darren McFadden should be the starter back, but I do kind of understand why they're being hesitant with him because of his injury history, and I do think they're preserving him for later in the year, depending on how things go, if they're trying to make a playoff run or not.
Yeah, that's a good point about his injury history. I do forget about that, but overall, I just thought it was a really poor game plan in the second half, and the defense just collapsed. And where's Terrence Williams? Let me talk about that. I mean, did he play? I mean, was he on the sideline selling popcorn or selling hot dogs? I mean, I just want to know because all I saw him do was get on the field one time and drop a pass in the 4th quarter. So, I mean, I guess besides that, he was just being a concession seller at the concessions or something. I don't know. I can do what he did.
Yeah, I think almost anybody could. But
I mean, he's supposed to be the starter. I'm just honest. I mean, he's supposed to be a star wide receiver. Him and Devin Street are the 2 stars. Devin Street, I mean, I don't know. Well, we could have traded him for something because right now he has not done nothing this year.
Yeah, and it's disappointing to see as what a actual good preseason that he had. I was actually surprised by how well the Atlanta defense played in the second half. In the first half, They were just getting gouged up the middle with the run. In the second half, like I said, they just adjusted and they were like, "Hey, if y'all gonna beat us, we gonna make Brandon Whedon beat us," which he didn't. He played all right. He had about 280 yards.
Safe passes.
Exactly. He had a lot of check down passes. So they were like, "Okay, we're just gonna give you the check downs, and we're just gonna keep everything in front of us." They pretty much played bend but don't break defense. Just like, okay, you want to drop down to Lance Dunbar and Jason Witten? That's cool. We'll tackle them as soon as they get the ball, and we'll dare you to have us throw deep. Whereas on the other side with Atlanta, I don't know if Brandon Carr or Mo Claiborne or whoever played cornerback knows who Julio Jones is, but
I'll help him this week.
I think it was the third or the fourth quarter when he got that like 45 yard touchdown, and it was like, and the announcer
he just
said
right
it's
through like hot butter through knife.
Exactly. There's like, they just giving him free releases. It's like, okay, we understand Julio Jones is a great player, but you at least got to try to attempt to press him. I know he's a very strong and athletic wide receiver like Dez, but at least try to throw off his timing, because he would, from what I've seen, I don't think they pressed him once that whole game. And he was just getting free releases. And when you get somebody like Julio Jones free releases, who's a good route runner like he is and has the speed that he has, I mean, if he gets a step on you, it's like I said, it could go for a touchdown. But the way that Atlanta was using him, moving him all around the field, and for the life of me, I do not know why they didn't realize whenever they put him in the slot that they were going to run that quick slant to the inside to him. They did it the first time. I was like, okay, cool, that's cute. Second time, I seen the play come, I'm like, they're running the quick slant to Julio. Like, in all honesty, whoever was guarding him, that could have been an interception, potentially a pick six if he would have just paid attention to the play, because every time they had Julio in the slot, they either ran a quick slant to him or they ran like a small comeback to him. And I don't know if they didn't watch film that week. I don't know if he didn't realize what play was coming, but that was like you could see that coming from a mile away. But like I said, they did use Julio correctly. They moved him all around the field. He was lined up in the slot, on the left, on the right side. So it was very hard to keep track of him, in my opinion, for the Dallas defense to try to figure out what he was going to do. But Atlanta's game plan in the second half worked to perfection and got him all the touches and yards that he needed.
Yeah, they just really came out, like I said, they know who their go-to guy is. They just kept going to, I don't know why the Cowboys don't do the same and go with what works. And another thing, Mo Claiborne, again, dropping another sure interception in the first quarter. Remember, that they were on the first and goal, and it was a slant to Julio Jones, and he cut off the, good play by Mo Claiborne, where he cut off the route, but the ball was in his hands. You got to catch that. I just don't know why Mo Claiborne cannot get interceptions. You know, that comes back to haunt you when you drop interceptions and you just can't get turnovers. Now the Cowboys defense, 2 out of 3 games have not gotten turnovers.
Exactly, and it's going to make it hard for them to win games, because we all know this offense is going to be limited. Like I said, we all know that, yeah, they could run the ball, but teams can adjust them like Atlanta did in the second half and force them to pass. So it's going to be on the defense and special teams to try to get turnovers, try to get defensive and special team touchdowns, because like I said, I don't, passing wise, I don't think the Cowboys will win any games without Romo if they have to rely on passing, or if they have to come back in the second half from a deficit just because their offense couldn't score the ball. So that's why I was kind of hopeful that this defense would play really well, which it did in the first half, but second half, I don't know if they all just, were just trying not to give up the lead, which they did anyways, or if they just didn't adjust like they should, but I don't know. And then, you know what reminds me is that one third down when they were trying to get them off the field and Matt Ryan scrambled for, what was it, like 10, 15, 17 yards?
Ridiculous.
I understand it was man coverage, but on a play like that, I think it was like 3rd and 13 too. It was like 3rd and long or some stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. This defense got a lot of adjusting to do, a lot of film to watch, because just the way they played in the second half, I honestly don't know how we're going to do in this run without Romo if the defense plays like this for the rest of the games.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, this is a game they had to win because it's not easy schedule coming up, and teams are going to exploit this. Remember, it's on tape now, so it's not like, oh, you just do a couple of things. You know, and it seems like I say, we talk about the injuries too much. Stop that. That creates a mentality of we're just going to be okay then. If you just keep talking about injuries of Greg Hardy or the suspended Greg Hardy or Rolando McClain, I hear stuff about that too much. And you don't think that doesn't create a mentality of, well, we could go out there and try and we can, just kind of, give it our best effort. They don't. I don't think they go out there expecting to dominate and win. And no matter who you have out there, you got to do it, because remember, Atlanta didn't make no big offensive or defensive additions this past year. And look what they're doing. They're 3-0 because they have a coach who expects them to go out there. Because I don't know if you saw at the end of the first half, Dan Quinn was in their faces. Oh, yeah. I mean, he was really in the face of his defense. You know, and I like that about Dan Quinn. I don't think he gets enough credit. He expects it. You can tell that guy expects dominance. He doesn't just say, "Oh, well, we don't have a Richard Sherman or a Darrelle Revis or somebody like a Julius Peppers on the line or somebody like a Greg Hardy." It's about the unit overall, and I think he does a good job of coaching them up. And you saw that in the second half. They go out there in that second half and they expected to come back and win. And I think that starts with the head coach.
Yeah, exactly. I think, like I said, the team follows the head coach's personality and traits,
Yes.
and definitely Dan Quinn was, digging into his guys on defense in that first half. So that apparently must have lit a fire underneath them, because they played lights out in the second half, doing a shutout, outscoring the Cowboys 22-0. But like I said, overall in this game, I'm disappointed with how they ended. I'm very happy with how they started. I think they still have potential, because I believe we're playing the Saints next week, and there's no news if Drew Brees is going to play or not yet. So I feel like in that game we should still have a pretty strong chance to win that game. But definitely the defense is going to need some reworking. This offense is going to need some slight reworking, because they're going to have to take shots downfield. Teams are going to blitz Brandon Wheaton. They're going to dare him to beat them deep. And when you have a receiver like Terrence Williams, you just got to throw it up and just hope he can maybe, get some one-on-one catches, get some one-on-one favorables against the cornerbacks. The Saints do have tall cornerbacks, and I believe it's Brandon Browner and I forget the other cornerback right now. But you still got to take those chances, because Rob Ryan's going to blitz them. Rob Ryan's going to pack 8 in the box, blitz 6, 7, maybe 8 at sometimes, and he's going to dare you to just beat him through the air. So knowing that's coming up, like I said, I hope Whedon can kind of get out of this check down thing. It's good he checked it down, except for on that one pass where he was rolled out and he tried to pass it to Whedon and threw an interception. And in that sense, he should have just threw it out of bounds. Like I said, live to fight another day. But he's gonna have to take some shots downfield to Williams and Street and Beasley. Like they're gonna try to get some big plays through the passing game, because just running the ball is okay, but once your opponent's defense adjusts to you running the ball and then dares you to throw, and all you do is check downs, it's like you got to make them pay for playing that type of defense.
Yeah, you have to. You've got to. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is. If you don't challenge the defense, they just creep up on the line more and more and more. And that's what the Atlanta Falcons did, because they said, "Oh, they're not going to challenge us. They're just going to run the ball and just get it to Lance Dunbar or Jason Witten." So going forward, they're going to have to change that up to win games, because this offense right now is stagnant and very, very, very predictable. Yeah,
very predictable. But like I said, I got hope for the Cowboys going forward. I think the Saints should be a winnable game after we play the Patriots out of the bye week. I don't think that's a winnable game, but hey, I've seen crazier upsets this season than this before. But before we get out of here, you got any closing remarks before we wrap up here?
Yeah, I do. I want to tell the Cowboys my services are available at wide receiver since Terrence Williams seemed to be in the concession stands. I mean, hey, I'll pay for 1/10 of what he makes, Wade Terrence Williams, put me on the team, Hey, if anything else, I'm very exceptional skills at towel waving.
Because, you always need the towel wavers on the sidelines.
That's right, So, hey, why not get the best?
Very well put. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of The Blitz. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to subscribe to our social media links down in the description. I'm Mike, that is Bryan, and we will catch you guys in the next episode of The Blitz. Peace.